Hello, hello. Welcome to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. My name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general reading for all zodiac, meaning whoever lands on this video was meant to hear this message, okay? That's how psychic energy works. The energy works like a magnet, goes to who needs to hear the message. And this is again going to be timeless, so you can see it tonight, tomorrow, next year. Again, whenever you landed on this message was when you were meant to hear it for all zodiac. Now, for those of you that are new to the channel, anything that you need to know about me or the channel, and really about the channel, not really about me, but anything that you need to know about the channel or how to connect with me, I should say, whether that's through my social medias or whether or not you want to look into any subscriptions that I have, such as my Patreon link, everything, all important links are going to be found in the description box below. Now, if you happen to see this live stream and you resonate with it, give me a like, comment. I love it when you guys are interactive with me, and subscribe to the channel if you resonate with it. If you write healer, the word healer, in your comment bar, again, you can win a free psychic reading. Now, I will never contact you over getting a psychic reading. So again, I don't work that way. The only way that you will know whether or not you got, again, the psychic reading with me is if you heard it out of my mouth, again, which I would say during a live stream. I want everyone to know that I will be giving away free psychic soul healing oracle systems as one of my giveaways, which I will be doing a little campaign for in the next couple of weeks. We're pretty much been monetized only for about a month, but I've been doing so many other things that being consistent has been difficult. So I'm going to try and be a little bit more consistent for you guys. Now, again, for those of you that are new to the channel, know I always open up all my readings using my deck, which talks about the karmic themes, spiritual lessons, whether or not you're dealing with a karmic contract, a karmic tie, a karmic soulmate, whether or not things are intentional, whether things are not intentional. What is the underlying spiritual energy? Spiritual energy is made up of psychological and emotional. So when we have a spiritual block, it just means that our perception of our situation a lot of times is distorted based on past situations or on lack of information. And the energy is fear. So understanding what the spiritual energy is a lot of times allows us to look at what an intention is, and that allows us to make better choices and decisions, which is kind of important when we're dealing with a soulmate twin flame. So after I use my soul psychic healing deck, I will be using a bunch of other decks to look at your situation from a lot of different perceptions, not just spiritual, so you don't have to worry just about that. I always like to start off my readings telling people that I do look at the underlying energy first, which is the spiritual, because again, it allows us to change, to shape shift our situation, right? Again, God's all knowing. We're down here in physical form to learn and to manifest. Part of learning is to get to see our situation from a different perspective. And the only way that that happens is by us changing our actions. And so being able to shape shift a situation that's karmic can be can really change a detrimental situation, like a situation that would completely debilitate a person's life. And that might mean like getting involved with a wrong partner. And we know if you're with the wrong partner, being with the wrong type of person can actually take your life, because if you're with a person that cheats on you and continually makes you unhappy, you're going to get sick eventually. Or whether or not you again, whatever our choices are, and our choices are based on a lot of times what we've gone through within our life, our perceptions of what is. And if we're coming from an imbalanced way, we're not going to like what we manifest. That's why I like to look at that energy first. So the first card out is aggressive. So you may be connected to someone that's very aggressive about how they handle this situation with you. I feel like you're in a relationship or have been in relationships prior also, have only been in relationships with people that are aggressive, and aggressive people are dominant. They're the ones that, they don't have a problem like stating what they want, how they want it. They tend to be a little bit manipulative in how they get what they want, which, by the way, it creates trust issues. Because if I'm not allowed to express who I am, and who I am is, again, sometimes I have to set boundaries, and I have to figure things out and have my own process. And if you're with someone that's aggressive, it's because they're insecure. And if they're insecure, they're going to have a hard time with you expressing your feelings and your opinions. They're going to take everything literally. It's again because there's trauma around the situation. This is what I'm feeling right off the bat as soon as I pulled aggressive. Now, this is a general reading. It's going to be for whoever that lands on this that happens to hear it. So take this message as it resonates. You may say, well, it's not me, but it's a person that I'm connected to that happens to be very manipulative. It's, again, someone that's manipulative, they're not emotionally intelligent. They're not comfortable with expressing themselves. Okay, deluded. So, right. So, deluded. So, we see deluded of the way a person thinks is deluded when they expect you to give them more love when they're not giving you anything at all. It's, again, almost like they want you to continually give them love, continually show them that you care about them. And when you don't, they get aggressive. They're almost like looking for it. So this is almost like a little scary because it's almost like you're connected to someone that, like, their identity is almost based on what you do. That's how obsessive I feel the energy is, which would make a person deluded, right? Again, if I'm thinking that my value is based on how much my partner or a person that I like or a person that I want to like me is giving me, and they're not giving me what I want or how I believe they should be showing me that they care about me and love me, then again, I'm going to be like, again, my way of thinking is diluted based on the fact that I'm coming from my trauma response of what I didn't have that created the wound. Innovation. So this is really what we can do to deal with a situation that's like this. When you say, well, dealing with control, and it makes the person deluded. So what do we do with that? Well, the person needs to get grounded, and then you get grounded by, again, your creative ventures, your passions. Again, you create yourself. Because what I had just channeled was, I feel like the person's perception of who they are, and again, their value of, again, their importance is a little diluted based because it's like based on what their person that they like is going to do, and the person isn't responding the way that they want, so they're, again, getting aggressive, and that's really, it's creating crazy energy, like controlling energy. And what we know is we can't control anyone, we have to control ourselves. Now, this might sound like crazy energy, but we've all had spiritual connections where we were crazy about the person and we cared so much about that person, and the other person didn't really care about us as much. And that makes us obsessive. That makes us crazy. right? Where you want to control, especially if you gave a lot of attention or emotion, or showed this person your feelings, let your guard down. Again, that's hard for for us consciously to take. It's hard for our ego to take, that you opened up your heart to someone, laid it out, and the person again isn't giving you anything. So that would make anyone aggressive. What do you do with that energy? We've all been in this place. So it might sound like crazy, like who becomes so aggressive and their mind diluted over a relationship? It's easy. Is again, soul relationships do that. It's again, especially if we were codependent and we wound up with a narcissist that gaslighted us all the time, that made our view of a relationship diluted because we were around someone that was aggressive. So now we're aggressive in the way that we handle our relationships. Very easy. So how do we heal that? Well, we heal it through again the creative process, by creating ourselves. There's a sense that we feel that we're defective. If we feel that we have to be aggressive and control a relationship, it's again, then we're saying we need to control love. We don't really believe that love can come to us. You don't have to make a person do anything. If a person isn't just doing it, they're not capable. So it's again, you're deluded if you think you can change them. It's again that what'll happen is you'll be wasting all your energy that you could be again creating yourself, and you'll be feeding that, and that's how big a wound becomes. I want to look at any hidden truths between you and your person, because it's again, this doesn't necessarily mean that the person is deliberately trying to do this. If you're meeting a person that's in balance, again, spiritually out of balance because of what they've gone through within their life, they're again not coming from a place of balance. Again, they don't love themselves enough. They don't believe that they can have love the way that they would feel safe and comfortable with. So it's again, we can't control that. You can't heal that by trying to just heal it. You can go to a therapist for years on end, or you can again create yourself and learn about love through giving yourself love, is what this message is. Spiritual lesson is. So this automatically is telling me, by the way, that this is going to be a bumpy reading, because it's again, there's anger around love, right? It's again, there's diluted perceptions about love due based on what we feel about ourselves. So it doesn't mean that the person doesn't care. Everyone cares and loves from their level of consciousness, what they're capable of. So that's what healing's about, realizing that not everyone's on your vibration. And that's kind of like the energy that I'm feeling. And instead of pulling from hidden truths, I want to see some silent heart cards first. Okay, so obstacles. So I believe the only obstacles that are like in this situation is the fact that person believes that they need to have things their way. There's a sense of not really being grounded. And there could be obstacles, like again, that also don't allow to have your person come forth, but they're also hiding behind the fact that they're spiritually out of balance. Know this, because again, love always prevails. When we love something and really want something, and we're confident about something, meaning we know that we're deserving of it, we just go after it regardless of the obstacles. So I'm not saying that there's not obstacles, but it makes it that much easier for your person to like hide and not heal. So there's obstacles. I wish I could fix things between us. So there's a sense where your person wanted everything their way. They were deluded in thinking that you were going to put up with the breadcrumbs and their imbalanced energy of not really giving, and their own issues. They create their own obstacles for themselves, but there are issues, because I believe that every relationship is like that. If a person has trust issues, they're going to have trust issues not just within you, but within everyone. If they are dealing with you shady, then chances are in every area of their life, that's the way that they deal. I felt like this person was not on the same vibration, which means their character and their vibration wasn't like of unconditional love. Unconditional love is of the highest virtue, meaning there's no ownership, there's no expectation. It's just that there is. And I'm doing it with an open heart. This person has obstacles, but I believe that the obstacles are like their own karma and how they continue to feed their karma through how they act. So it's again, they wish that they could fix things. So it's again, they've at least thinking about it. Where before, I don't even feel like this person thought about it. Excuse me, I feel like your person has a big ego because it's again the obstacles and deluded behavior and wanting to control. Obviously, they got away with that for a long time. And so, like, this is what karmic patterns are. It means the behaviorism is the same. So, a soulmate twin flame relationship has the power to transmute this negative energy because unconditional love can do this. So, do I believe that this person is changing it? Well, they at least are coming to the place of, again, I wish I could change it, where before I don't even know whether they took responsibility for it. They made excuses, like there was obstacles, and again, and then their ego in the beginning. There was a lot of different reasons. So I want to see the triggers. Again, martyr, yeah, this person's like, poor me, poor me. I can't really fix it. I was sad. I again, I do believe that they are connected also maybe to like someone else, or connected to someone that is taking their energy. I don't really feel like there's love there. Again, that there's another person in the aspect of relationship. Maybe again, this person takes care of children, or they take care of a parent. It's again, they have other obligations where they're sacrificing their love. Again, as they're sacrificing their happiness, again, which is love, to give. And that's really what the obstacles are. But understand that keeps them, again, locked in to their deluded way of thinking. Again, which is I can't be loved. Is again because there always somebody has to, be in control. Again, whether it's passive aggressive or aggressive. So let's see, aloof, and this person doesn't act like they care. So, which is also irritating because it's like, okay, person's deluded because they're like, I'm gonna act like I don't really care. I'm gonna put everybody in front of you and not really give. And I see that as obstacles, but really the obstacle is the way that this person thinks. They wish that it's different, but it's again like they've controlled the entire situation. So, like I said, the only thing that both parties can do is really take this energy and of their creative energy, which is innovation, and create, do something with it. And the reason why I say that is because if your person does it, they again take their mind off their inadequacies. Is again in creating, we again create ourselves. So being able to see yourself differently allows you to again open up your heart enough to begin to love yourself enough so you can begin to love somebody else enough. And doing something, creating, a lot of times makes us join together with other people through like-minded visions. So you learn how to trust, you learn how to compromise, you learn the basic skills that obviously at one time, whether again you grew up in an environment where that was not honored, meaning maybe you were victimized, maybe you felt emotionally abandoned, maybe you grew up with someone that was aggressive. So now you act aloof, like you don't care, and that triggers the person, every person that you're with. It's again to to want to control, to want to, and then you act like a martyr, like it's like, oh, well, it's like, it's not really my fault. Well, then you would be deluded, because it's, again, you're not taking responsibility. But at least, like, there's a sense like, I want to fix it, because a lot of times when a person isn't healed at all, there's a sense of, it's not my problem. They won't even take responsibility. They won't even look at it. So we know that this is a soulmate twin flame relationship because the person's actually looking at it, and they're not just forfeiting the problem. Okay, now these two just fell out, and I'm going to take them just because I always believe that there are no accidents. I feel like I ruined everything, which goes with, I wish I could fix everything. So this person is actually realizing what they did, which means that you disconnected from them. I still have growing to do. So this relationship has made your person look at their behavior, which unconditional love does that. So understand that not all soulmate twin flame relationships, unfortunately, are going to, you know, be all about winding up together happily ever after. Some are karmic. Again, all of them are karmic, which just means learn, which obviously this person played a lot of games, wanting to control everything, and again, pretending that there was problems, couldn't seem to get out of their own way. And so again, what winds up happening is, it makes them see that they really have a lot of growing to do, that it's like they created all the problems, which, by the way, soulmate twin flame relationship does that. It makes us surrender our ego. Unconditional love makes us do that. It makes us change. It makes us look at things differently. We wouldn't care. Obviously, it's like, if you piss me off, you trigger me this much, and it's this difficult because you can't express yourself, that it's like, you can't show me. Understand, it's going to hurt too, because you grew up in an environment that didn't show you the emotional support, didn't give you the emotional support. Now this person's acting like they can't give you the emotional support. Like, so it's almost like, why can't I get that? So this makes you look at yourself, but you can't go to an empty well for water. It's like God brought that person into your life. The universe brought that person into your life in order to show you what you need to do for yourself. And if this is a real soulmate twin flame, inevitably they'll come back, because unconditional love is that. It can't be controlled or manipulated. I feel you. So it's, again, we know that soulmate twin flame relationship is all about that energetic feeling. It's like, I know that you're there. I know that you care. The problem is, you're showing me this shit, but I can see that you care. I can feel that you care. Why can't you just, again, just change? It's like you want to like slam their head against the wall, because it's like, I know that you care, but why am I getting this shit? And the reason why is, I'll tell you why. We're going to pull from the triggers cards. You're going to see, because triggers, when I get triggered, it makes me do this. It makes me do that. And sometimes the action is unconscious, and sometimes it's conscious. So let's see what the triggers are. Let's see what the triggers are for them that you do. It's, again, trauma. I have unresolved trauma, and I took it out on you. So I believe that, again, that's true due to this person's past relationships and where the original trauma came from. So this is a trauma that has replayed within this person's life. So we call that a karmic loop. It's like, oh, the same situation plays out within this person's life, where I feel like they abandon situations, that they, make excuses. They're never fully in. They're never fully in the situation. Okay, lonely. I felt alone in this connection. I'd rather be alone than feel alone with you. I feel like this is you. How do you feel? That you're like, okay, because you're not emotionally available. I feel alone. That's the trauma that you grew up with. That's the trauma that keeps replaying within your life. That's the karmic theme that keeps playing within your life. So it shows a lot of times, like, the people When we have trauma due to the fact that we feel alone, it's because we were abandoned on some level. So we can't abandon ourselves. And so you don't abandon yourself if you're interactive in your own life, because then you connect with people through the heart, through your passions. And it doesn't matter then whether family or a loved one or the person that we really say, you really, out of every person, you really shouldn't have abandoned me. But now that you abandoned me, now that hurt me extra, because if anything, you shouldn't. We have to look at our relationships like they're human. Excuse me. That it's, again, there is no perfect, because everyone's love language is different. You're never going to get paired with someone that has the same love language as you. It's, again, you're not going to get paired with someone that thinks the same way that you do, or channels out their wounds the same way that you do. It's a lot of times you'll get someone that triggers all your wounds, because, again, they don't handle things the same way that you do. They don't think the same way that you do. It's God's way of changing your mind and your heart. It's His way of manipulating you to become a more balanced individual through the whole process of learning what unconditional love is, because these relationships definitely push us to our limit. Again, makes us surrender our ego. So, again, boundaries. My boundaries were seriously crossed and disrespected. And I believe that. I believe because you continue to want to have like a balanced, healthy relationship, and this person manipulates things to for their comfortability. And their comfortability seems to be when you're uncomfortable. It's like this is when a person has a psychological reversal. It's like almost like they don't want to become a member of a club that would have them, meaning they don't love people that can show them love. They almost feel more comfortable if you, again, are detached from them, because they have a detachment issue, which is how this trauma has played out within your person's life. Again, so it doesn't mean that they don't love. Please understand that. This is strictly wounds, all about wounds, all about how, the psychic wounds play out within our behaviorisms, how this person is sabotaging the relationship. So we look at that through the intention, because that allows us to not take responsibility. A lot of times when we say, why is this person doing this? It makes me feel, God says, again, that you had that before that person. That person can't make you feel anything unless you had that within you. It's, again, so they're calling you to look deep within to heal that. And so what is it that you need to heal? Let's look. What is it that you need to heal? It's, again, this is odd. This card came with this deck, and it's so odd because obviously we can see it's not doesn't go with this deck. But and I don't know why they sent it to me in this deck, but I'll keep it. Okay, so search. So I believe that, again, it's searching deep within inside yourself. Searching, maybe, again, you searched for, again, that love through this person, and being that they emotionally couldn't give it to you, where this search really is not that you search outside, you search within, is really what I'm feeling. So the trauma came from looking for it outside and trying to create the stability outside. The unconditional love can't come outside. Yes, people do give it to us from the outside, but it's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be consistently perfect, because no one is consistently perfect. So in order for us to get it consistently perfect, we have to give it to ourselves. That's why it's the search is to find what stirs our soul and what we're passionate about. That's how we fill ourselves. That's how we can, again, put this situation into some sort of perception and not take responsibility for this person's feelings. Otherwise, like, we can get caught up in the fact that I love you and I know you love me, but this is how it's playing out. Why do I get this? Why am I this? Why is this defective? Am I defective? It again plays out within the story, which contributes to whatever the wound is, which is an unconscious belief that you're defective and you can't have the love. And that's what this person is displaying, because again, they have it, and you're a mirror of who and what comes into your life. So that's why it's playing out. So in order to transmute this energy is only going to be through the process of creating and creating yourself. Because again, and then you can't really be lonely because you're connecting to people. Okay, again, through the heart chakra. It's again doesn't mean that the person will still feel you. This is actually that unconditional bond that is created in the 3D, meaning in the mind. The energetic connection is through the heart and mind. So it's ESP. So even though there's separation because of this power struggle for a while, and you create yourself, what is known is that the connection is still there. So now the person is realizing that they can't control it. See, a lot of times people feel like they can control, like, I'll just replace you, you're not making it easy for me. So it's again, they play games. And when they realize, oh, I can't just replace this person, this is good because there's a turn of events here. Now, it doesn't mean that it was a quick turn of events. So there's that. And then there's, okay, perfectionist. So I felt like, I pulled for you. So I feel like you, again, could still feel that this person, that there's a connection, again, that you can feel them, but I feel like you wouldn't be able to do that unless they could also feel you. That's the irony of the soulmate twin flame relationship. It's happened in the 3D, where it's an energetic bond that both parties can feel. Now, I feel like what this relationship brought out in you was the need to try to be perfect, because the person wasn't giving you what you needed. So remember, I said I wanted to see, how does this play out? Now, if you're trying to be so perfect, it means that there's less time, there's less energy, there's less focus towards what you need to do for yourself. And this is how you abandon yourself. And so this person will never actually give you what you need. That's the karmic theme, the karmic lesson that actually plays out when we're with someone that we're crazy about. We know that they love us and we can feel this deep connection, but they're not giving us what we need, and we want to change them and manipulate them to give us what we want. And the more that we try to do that, the more that they shut down. We realize that we have to again set appropriate boundaries for ourselves, and the boundaries is what we'll accept, what we want. If a person isn't giving us enough, that we don't feed them more, we give it to ourselves. And that's again in order to transmute the energy. And in order to do that, I believe that both parties will feel the energetic connection again, that wow, that you're still here, and so understand in the fact that you stand your ground and leave. Maybe you have a fear of abandonment. Maybe if I don't go along with everything that this person does and like deal with their breadcrumbs, they'll leave me forever. Well, guess what? You don't, and you still feel them. And guess what? That you set a boundary and you walk away, and they still feel you because they still care. Their heart is still connected to yours, which is the realization. So you don't really need to be perfect. The perfectionism is that maybe you felt like you weren't good enough. So you keep trying to be good enough. We don't shoot for perfectionists. There's actually no such thing as perfection. We shoot for excellence. Again, and that is important because, again, if you try to be perfect, there's no such thing as perfect. You'll eventually abandon yourself. You'll burn yourself out. You'll become resentful of this relationship because this person isn't giving you enough. And so even if you're not giving them enough and trying to be perfect, you're actually giving too much to the relationship because you're not trying to become perfect for the right reasons, and you're trying to be perfect through outside things. And we don't create perfection through outside things. We create healing And that creates perfection within us because we're just returning back to wholeness. So let's see what the twin flame message is. We project our patterns onto each other, and this makes it difficult to see what is real and what is fear-based thinking. And that's what I was saying, that when, the soulmate twin flame relationship doesn't handle things the same way, but they have the same wounds. So this is what I was saying, like projection. And that keeps us stuck in like a karmic cycle, where the only way to break that cycle is to do something different, get off the monkey go round, and again, create yourself. If it's true, again, true love, really unconditional love, well, guess what? This person's going to return. This person wouldn't be able to stay away. Again, that's the whole point. It may surrender your ego. We are one. Don't let fear get in the way of this truth. And that's what I was saying. Like, I believe that this is a soulmate twin flame relationship. I believe that this relationship is designed to transmute each other's spiritual blocks. It's divine union. So it doesn't mean that it's an easy one. It means that it's one that's going to pull out all your shit. It's going to make you look at every single thing that you're fearful about, everything that makes you feel limited, everything. Again, because a person really can't make you feel that way unless you felt that way prior. And if you're pulling in a person that makes you feel that way, and again, you're a magnet of who and what comes into your life, you need to, again, look at it. Because if it doesn't work within your life, in order to heal it and change it, you have to transmute it. You can't just get rid of it and say, okay, now it's gone, I'm aware. No. We have to actually do something different. And what would be different is not feeding this person more when they're not giving you more. We don't become perfect. We already are perfect. We don't try to become that person's perfect, because then we abandon ourselves. What we do is we put the energy to ourselves, create ourselves, love ourselves. That actually balances out the energy, because it makes that person look at themselves and say, well, did I give this person enough? Was I fair? Eventually, if there really is love there. So let's see. I've made my bed and now I have to lie in it until I can admit my mistakes to myself and to you. So this person, like, again, unconsciously, they know. It's again, and that's why they feel you, because their heart is still connected to you. They just are still kind of in a power struggle. Their ego is still just trying to like control here, still trying to like have their own way, which is, again, remember, your job to, when you have a soulmate twin flame, is, and they're being an ass, and then someone that's acting like an ass wants everything their way. Your job is to make them surrender their ego. And you may be like, this is so fucking hard. And it is going to be hard, because it's going to trigger you. It's going to make you feel like abandoned, because they're not going to come running back. They're not going to try and fix it. They're going to try and emotionally manipulate you to try and get you to cave to them. Like, it's a power struggle, because the person has a lot of fear around abandonment, where you do too. Though, it's, again, they're not fair. So if you cave to this, you will be disrespected. So it's, again, what you're doing is you're making this person sit there and sit in it, but that doesn't mean they're going to cave right away. It means that they're going to act like a little bitch for a little while, because it's like, well, I don't want to have to surrender. I don't want to have to forgive. The whole thing, why they wanted everything to be in their favor, and why they needed all the control, was definitely not to come back crawling to you to ask for forgiveness. Remember, that's the last thing that they wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's like, it's like the irony. This person's fear of, oh, I don't want to be vulnerable. Well, guess what, fucker? You just created that for yourself, because it's like, now I created this, and I know you're not going to come back. And if you're smart, you won't. Again, you have to make them come back and surrender if the person's disrespectful, because it means that they actually thought about what they did. That's why. Otherwise, that shit will continue to replay within the relationship. Let's see what else. My childhood was difficult and it still affects me. I was let down by people I loved and trusted, and we knew that. We knew that. Again, it says, again, with the abandonment issues of control that a lot of times happen from childhood. So it's again, person needs everything their way. It's a one-sided relationship. It doesn't work that way. But understand doesn't mean that they won't try. It's again, it's a survival mechanism. So it's important for you not to take it personally. Let's see what the hidden truths are, what your person would like to say if they could. Again, hidden truths are the fact that the person might have a lot of emotion for you, but they're not capable of expressing it. When again, there's a lot of trauma we see that people just are not, they don't feel comfortable to be vulnerable enough to open up their heart. So it's important to look and see what are the hidden truths what this person thinks. Because it also let us know what their intention is. Let's see. It was my fault, but I blamed you. Yep, of course, because it's again, when the person knows it too. They know it too. That's when playing games. It's like I don't want to let you in. I'm going to be defensive. I'm gonna dance around situations. I'm gonna be aggressive. I'm gonna act like I don't give a shit, act aloof. And then when you really press me, I'm going to act like a martyr, like I have to be there for other people, that everything comes before that. There's a million obstacles, again, where it's like they think that you're deluded. They're deluded because you're not going to put up with it. It's like, and then when you're going to press me up against the corner, I'm going to blame you. And the whole reason is because I have wounds from childhood. But guess what? You didn't put up with it. And the soulmate, again, twin flame is the only thing that can transmute this energy, again, of fear, right? The only thing that can. We turn fear into fire, and fire is passion is a form of fire, right? So it's, again, the only thing that does is the person needs to be like, I made my bed. I got to lie in this shit. Now I got to come back and crawl for forgiveness. And that's not going to be easy. I got to figure out how to do that because I don't really want to do that. The whole point of why I did all this shit was to act like I had a big ego and act like the big man out. Now I got to act like a stupid ass and come back and apologize. It's again because I didn't respect her boundaries or his boundaries or whoever's boundaries. There's again, but I can still feel you. There's still this intense connection. There's still this spiritual connection. And here you are trying to be perfect. This is like, again, when meanwhile, this whole thing is because this person has childhood issues. And then you're like, what the hell am I getting out of this anyway? You don't really make me feel like, again, it's this karmic theme of not still emotionally not getting what I need. But what did it do for you? It's again, we can transmute this energy right now by saying, well, it made you search. And it made you search and it wound up bringing you back to yourself, which again allowed you to, again, innovate and then also transmute your trauma. And in doing that, it's again, it makes this person say, well, wow, shit, I wish I could, could fix things between us. I still have growing to do, I guess. Maybe I'm the person that created all this toxic behavior. I feel like I ruined everything. And a person needs to feel that way. It needs to scare them in order to change. So it's again, this is not a bad thing. This is actually a very good thing. And then this is, we are one. Don't let fear get in the way of truth. It's again, regardless of all this spiritual nonsense, again, know that, again, it's a spiritual connection that transcends all time and space. And that this relationship is all about triggering each other to pull out the spiritual issues. So I just want to see last message before I close out. I know this kind of went long. But I always like to read it a few different ways because I feel like it'll resonate with more people. So let's see what their spiritual message is, or maybe what spiritual message is that just is for the relationship, or what they have to say to you, or again, maybe what you want to say to them. Let's see. Okay, playfulness. Laughter is the best therapy. Have some fun together. And remember, love is the greatest healer. So, again, soulmate twin flame relationship. It's not all about being heavy. Heavy is, again, there is going to be times that are really challenging within a soulmate twin flame relationship. And love helps you get through that. But you don't want it to always be talking about the relationship. That will be the downfall of the relationship. Relationship is all about passion, right? But passion isn't just about sex. It's about, again, passion for life. So finding something to do together, again, creating memories together that will strengthen the intimate bond, which again is what heals trust, is the answer to heal this relationship. Now, if you resonate with that and you have a twin flame that has a hard time expressing themselves, again, the key is to put the energy into yourself and then also create experiences with this person. That will balance out your energy. Now, I hope that was helpful. Now, if you resonated, give me a like, comment, let me know what you think. And if you write the word healer in the comment bar, you can win a free psychic reading. Now, until next time, be true to you. Bye, guys.